Good afternoon, college football fans. Kevin Carroll here, Joe Soprano to my right. We are back. We took a week off last week to regroup and get our minds right, and now we are back with the best picks for the college football weekend. Nothing but winners here, folks. You're going to want to tail these with the two of us. Joe, you want to start? You are chomping at the bit.
I've got two surefire winners. First of all, you're going to, both these Big Ten games, because I know, or I'm sorry, first the Big Ten game. They're both not Big Ten games. I got ahead of myself there. And I know we got a lot of Big Ten fans. We got Wisconsin hosting Iowa. This one's a lock. This one's not even going to be competitive. Iowa has been vastly overrated for much of the season. If you remember in our last video, I told you they were going to lose to Purdue. They're going to lose badly to Wisconsin, which is a 3.5-point favorite. As a matter of fact, not only will Iowa lose this game, Iowa's going to lose at least one, if not two more games before the regular season's over. They're not a very good offensive team. Their defense is vastly overrated just because they were getting a lot of turnovers earlier in the year. Those things even out. Wisconsin's a lock. Take Wisconsin. Take the under if you're looking for a parlay, but I'm telling you, take Wisconsin. My other game I really like, here in Pennsylvania, out in western Pennsylvania, in Heinz Field, Pitt's hosting Miami. Miami's a 9-point underdog. Far too many points to be given to Hurricanes. I think the Hurricanes have a chance to win this game outright. Even if they don't win it outright, they're going to cover. One thing you have to remember when you're betting Pitt, Pat Narduzzi is a moron. He'll find a way to screw this game up. He spends more time worrying about what's going on outside of his program than he does worrying about his players in this week's game. You got to take Miami in this one. It's another surefire moneymaker for you.
Mr. Narduzzi, if you're watching, sorry, man.
Hey, you know my number. You got something to say to me, call me and say it.
I definitely wanted to give you props on the Iowa pick or the Purdue pick from 2 weeks ago, because not only did Iowa lose that game, they got their doors blown off that game. I don't see any reason why they're not going to do the same against a much better Wisconsin team. Obviously, they've had their struggles, but they're at home, only 3.5 points. I kind of like that pick.
Well, that Purdue team that blew Iowa off the field turned around and got demolished by Wisconsin the next week. So
Yeah, they spent 1 week in the top 25, promptly on their way out. My first pick, I'll stay in the Big Ten, the Conference of Champions. That's actually what they call the Pac-12, but what's the Pac-12 one recently? We got the big noon kickoff, Michigan State and Michigan, the rivalry game, two top 10 teams, two undefeated teams, both on the outside looking in right now as to the college football playoff picture. Obviously, a lot can change with this one. Michigan State is a 4-point underdog right now at home, and these two teams kind of have similar resumes this year. Neither team has really beaten anybody huge yet. They have three common opponents: Nebraska, Rutgers, and Northwestern. They beat the three of them. They each did. My reasoning on picking the Spartans here, and maybe there's a little bit of bias because I just really hate Michigan, but we've seen time and time again these Michigan Wolverine teams under Jim Harbaugh just come up short in big moments, and we've seen them come up short in big moments against Michigan State. We all remember the muffed punt from a couple of years ago that sunk Michigan. One of these two teams has to make a statement. I think it's going to be Michigan State at home dogs. They bark, so I'm going to roll with Sparty there. I think it should be a pretty good game though. I've also got, going down the list here, got a couple more for you. I'll be brief. Utah State, they're 5.5-point favorites at home against Hawaii. If you're a real gambler out there and you see me picking against Hawaii, you might want to take my card. But I have a reason. This game is a 3 o'clock Eastern start time kickoff, which for a Hawaii kid, that's like, 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning? I don't know time zones very well. But no, these kids are not going to be prepared to play at that time of the day. Even when they do come off the island and play on the mainland, they're usually playing late at night. I think they're going to be a little sluggish to start. I think that's all it's going to take for Utah State, who has a couple really good wins this year. And they've only lost 2 games to Boise State and I believe to BYU. Those are 2 tough losses. So I think Utah State will be fine. I think Hawaii's quarterback, Shaven Cordero, is not 100%. He's going to game time decision, but even if he plays, he's not going to be 100%. I've also got a couple more for you. San Jose State, -2.5 against Wyoming. Wyoming sucks. San Jose State has been up and down, a little inconsistent, but they have a good running quarterback they've just installed in Nick Nash. I think he'll pose problems for Wyoming. Oregon State on the money line at Cal. I just dissed the Pac-12, but Oregon State's looking pretty good. They're one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the Pac-12, and they run the ball. B.J. Baylor 118 yards a game. Cal, they have a pretty decent run defense in the Pac-12. They're 3rd in the conference in rush defense, but they haven't really played anybody who really has tested that run defense. They will be tested and they will be beaten. Oregon State, I think they're about a 1.5 favorite right now. I just have them on the money line. And I also have San Diego State on the money line. And what might be the game of the night, Joe? San Diego State, Fresno State. The Mountain West, strength on strength. The Fresno State passing attack, electric all year. The San Diego State defense, 3rd in the country in yards per play. They don't get beat deep. They don't give up the home run. And they really limit field position as well. I definitely want to shout out Matt Ariza, the punter. He's had 2 80-yard punts in the last 2 weeks. He's averaging 54 yards a punt this year. A shoo-in for the Ray Guy Award. A cult hero in the making. And I think he's going to be able to pin Fresno State deep time and time again. And it's tough to score when you start so pinned up against your end zone. You see it at every level of football. When you start and you're within your own 20, your own 15, you don't score as often. It's just how it works. I think the San Diego State Aztecs will remain undefeated. I think I bet on them 2 weeks ago and they let me down, so I haven't forgotten that. But I think this is the week for them. Anything you'd like to add?
No, I mean, you really seem to like those West Coast games, I've noticed.
I like a lot of the West Coast games. I like a lot of the late games because, a lot of times after all that football all day, I like to just relax, put on a 10:30 start in the Mountain West.
And lose some money.
Well, that remains to be seen. Last week, we didn't do the video last week, but I think my picks went 2 and 3. I've settled right into a line of just complete averageness, but not this week. This week we're going 5-0. I have a feeling, and you're going to go 2-0, Joe. I have a good feeling for you as well.
Well, I'll encourage all the readers to bet with their heads, not over it. That's what they used to say on the New York stations when I was a kid. So bet with your heads, not over it. Bet responsibly, and if you like what we do here and you want to support us, consider taking out a subscription to the Times Leader. You can subscribe by calling 570-829-5000.
And if you're seeing this on Friday or really, anytime in the next couple of days, you're going to want to subscribe quickly because a subscription to the Times Leader automatically enters you into our TL Cares program. Time is running out. I think we've got 2 more weeks before the $25,000 grand prize is issued. So you want to make sure you subscribe to the Times Leader. You don't want to miss out on $1,000 a week or $25,000 at the end of the day. That's all for now, folks. Thanks for watching. Tune in, and good luck this weekend.
We'll see you next week.